Now, Keroche Breweries Limited directors Tabitha Karanja and Joseph Karanja have been released on a cash bail of 12 million shillings and a bond of 20 million. The company has also been issued with a cash bail of 10 million shillings and a bond of 15 million shillings. The court has ordered Tabitha to pay her bail by end of day today, while her sickly husband has been allowed 7 days. Mel Miendo followed the proceedings at the Milimani Law Courts and now joins us from the NTV newsroom. Mel, what else can you tell us about today's proceedings?
One of the things that happened actually in court is that Joseph Karanja, as you've mentioned, Gladys, is sickly. And even yesterday, there was a statement from Karen Hospital confirming that he has been sick and that he underwent a life-saving surgery. They didn't quite mention or was specific about what kind of surgery it was, but he underwent that surgery at the Karen National Hospital, actually. And so that's why he has been given that specific charge to actually give his bail by 7 days. Now, when we went to court in the morning at about 10 a.m., there was a battery of lawyers as usual. And so Tabitha Karanja and her husband, together with Keroche Breweries, were represented by Senior Counsel James Orengo and also one of the lawyers, Kioko Kilukumi, among other lawyers, about 4 or 5 of them. And then prosecution was represented by Senior Assistant DPP Alexander Muteti as well as Catherine Mwaneki. One of the issues that they were speaking about is that defense were asking that they be allowed, their clients actually be allowed bail because it is their right, it is a constitutional right, and so that's why it was given. But also they said that their clients are not flight risks. Remember yesterday, Gladys, we saw that both directors were gotten from Naivasha, where their plant is, where the Keroche Breweries plant is, and so the defense was saying that they are not a flight risk because of that plant there and the fact that Tabitha is a CEO and her husband, Joseph, is a chairman of the board in Keroche Breweries. And so that was one of the things that they said. But for prosecution, they said that it is not allowed. Just the fact that they have their companies here in Kenya, here in the country, doesn't mean that they're not a flight risk. So one of the issues that, and for that, the defense did not get their way. The prosecution were allowed to take the passports of both Joseph Karanja and Tabitha Karanja. And so that is in the possession of the prosecution. Another issue is the fact that the tax amount, remember we're talking about 14.45 billion shillings, and this is tax evasion from DPP's statement, DPP Nudin Haji's statement about 2 days ago, is that it's between January 2015 to June 2019. But for the defense, they were saying that it cannot really be an amount that can be stipulated. They still say that there's a lot of speculation. And so the prosecution were allowed to continue their investigations. But as we do know that the bail and bond terms were given. The other fact is that Keroche Breweries is represented in itself. This is one entity, and that's something that was spoken about in court. That the fact that Keroche Breweries, Tabitha and Joseph are from one entity, but the prosecution were asking that each be given a specific amount of bail and bond terms. For the company, it was given about 10 million Kenya shillings as cash bail and 15 million Kenya shillings as bond. And so one of the issues that came out from court is that the directors of Keroche Breweries are not just Tabitha and her husband. There are other directors, and that came out in court today. And now let's listen in to what Francis Andai, he's the chief magistrate that was listening to this issue, what he said specifically about those directors and what would happen to them.
Yes. So which is the company, it is cash, Kenya shillings 15 million. They have to pay within 7 days. You said there are more directors. Mr. Muteti said there are 4 more. If this money is not paid within 7 days, all of them, including the first accused person, but except the second, will be arrested and held in custody after 7 days.
So that was the order from Francis Andai in court. So Gladys, we are expecting that the mention of this case will be heard on the 2nd of September. That's about 2 weeks from now, say. And then after that, the pre-trial hearing will be heard on the 24th of September. It's something that we're still following. So come next week, we'll get to know what more can be told from the Keroche Brewery side and also from the prosecution side. Gladys.